Peace on the ground, peace on the ground. Hey, it's January 23rd there on a Saturday, and we got two great fights coming up. We have the Juan Manuel Lopez versus Steve Luevano, and we have the Yuriorkis Gamboa fight against Rogers Mtagwa, and that's the fight I'm gonna talk about now. That's tonight. I know, great. I get these videos out in such a timely manner. Um, First, I'm going to break down the fighters, and then I'll give my prediction, like we normally do, and we'll see how this rolls. Okay, we have Rogers Mtagwa, who's 26, 13 and 2, with 18 knockouts for a 42 or 43% knockout ratio. Don't be fooled by the knockout ratio with him, because he's had so many fights that have ended in loss or a draw. Those get factored into his knockouts. He does have 18 knockouts in his 26 victories, so the dude can swat. One thing that we learned from the Lopez fight, or I mean, if you checked out numerous fights of his, is that he can take a beating. He can. He's got a really strong chin, and but he takes a lot of punishment to give out a lot. He's like a old school warrior, man. He's gonna get probably wind up with 20 losses on his record, but he's a game fighter every time he's out. Does not do well against boxers. Does not do well against very good fighters that actually box and don't fight his fight. Now, as I said, he's lost a lot of fights. He's lost to UD to Billy Dibb, who, he's a good fighter, but he's been knocked out twice. He's open to a lot of shots because of his style and the way he comes in. He's got awful balance, but he wants the war, and that leads to it. Lots of stamina, he goes through, but once again, he gets hit a lot. Not a great boxer. His hands are low. He's not freakishly active. He doesn't throw a ton of punches. He's slow on his feet, and he does nothing great, but he does a lot of things good. He's good against average fighters, and again, but he does bad against very good fighters. Now, the fight against Lopez was more Lopez willing to fight his fight as opposed to Lopez fighting his own fight, because Lopez was winning that fight hands down and hitting him with a lot of shots until he decided to settle down and trade blows with this guy, which was, not in his best interest. Now, let's switch over to Gamboa. He's a young, 28 years old. He's had 16 fights and pro fights in 2 years. He's got a lot of catching up to do. But in that 16 fights and rushed, he still only has 2 years of pro experience. And granted, he's from Cuba, so he could have been a pro 10 years ago. And Cuba's known for that. I mean, I think after this, the last couple guys that have snuck out, they're going to have to start, putting ankle bracelets on them or handcuffing them to their bodyguards so they don't escape, because every time a Cuban fighter or anybody that has any athletic ability or anything in general, they get an opportunity to get out of Cuba, they do. I don't blame them. He's the one thing I noticed. I could talk about his gold medal super flyweight in the 2004 Olympics, but we're not here to talk about amateurs. Now, usually early in careers, fighters fight a lot of bums, and they build up their records, and they go from that. This is the first fighter I've ever seen, that has not fought a person, at the time he fought him, with a losing record. All 16 of his fights have been against people that have had winning records, which is absolutely amazing to see that. And with 16-0 with 14 knockouts for an 88% knockout ratio, that's saying a lot for him. Now, he has very good power. I don't want to say he's a very good boxer, but he's a very good fighter. He goes to the body very well, throws a ton of hooks. He's great with the 1-2s and then the 1-2-3s. You don't necessarily see him throwing 15 punch combos, but what he does throw is thrown with horrible, evil aggression and a ton of power behind it. So, like I said, he throws the 1-2s, pop, pop, and then he throws the ones, pop, pop, the 1-2-3s, and all that good stuff. He's a good boxer / brawler. Has good hand speed. He's active, throws lots of 1s and 2s and 1-2-3s. He's very open for shots. He can really get tagged. He's been knocked down, 3 flash knockdowns against Gonzalez, Jimenez, and De Jesus. And if you count the elbow that he got from Ramirez, that would be 4 times he's been knocked down. In 16 fights, a quarter of his fights, he's tasted the canvas. He drops his hands whenever he throws punches, and it's bad. When he loads up and throws the right hand, that left hand just drops out of sight. You don't even see it. When he throws the left hook, the right hand drops out of sight. It's really bad, and against extreme, I think he's really going to have trouble against elite fighters if he doesn't tighten that up. You can tee off on somebody all day, but if you run into somebody that can take a really good punch, you're going to be in trouble, man. Or you're going to be knocked brain damaged after 30 fights because you get hit so many times. Let's see. Drops the left bad when he throws his right. I said that. Now he's fought the 16 fights in 2 years. Very active. Young, 28 years old. He can get wild. He lunges a bit too much for my liking when he goes in and lunges. And as I said, he's going to have trouble with counterpunchers and elite fighters. Mtagwa's not really either of those. So when you put all this, Mtagwa's running into a force. This isn't Lopez. This is somebody that's, I don't know, got a mean streak. He's mad because he was in Cuba all those years. He wants to take it out on people. And that's what it seems like he's with Gamboa is doing. And his style is different than Lopez's. Lopez is a boxing, hit you with hard shots, hit you and break you down over a course of the full fight. Gamboa is a I'll break your jaw right now kind of fighter. And I see I don't think Mtagwa makes it out of this fight, and I think Gamboa knocks him out in the 7th round. So I mean, that's a nice crash course that we could be seeing. So that's my prediction: Gamboa by knockout in the 7th round. Okay. All right. Well, let me know how this fight turns out. And if I get it right, give me the 5 stars. If I get it wrong, no, we'll need to talk about that. All right. Well, hey, this is Bigragu, and if you see those little ads there and you like something on it, click on it, man. It's killing me. All right. I'm out.